I write to soothe myself. Naina wrote and deleted the draft several times. Tears slithering down her cheek, sang the story of her pain. She wanted to shove that pain into her iPad through writing. But words were being evasive. Meanwhile, 2 pairs of feet shuffled in deliberation outside her house.
We have to kill her,
Hriday said, finally determined. His eyes were bloodshot with hatred.
Are you sure that she is a bloodsucker?
Vani, Hridaya's cousin, rubbed her sweaty palms in apprehension.
I am sure. It has been a week since we came here. Have you ever seen her get out of her house during the daytime? And we both saw her face smeared with blood. Didn't we? She is definitely a bloodsucker.
I don't know what I saw.
Inside the house, Naina started sobbing. There was no one in the house that night. Still, she tried muffling her sound of agony with her sleeves. It had been a particularly abysmal day. And she could feel it all too deep within her heart. Her morning had been ruined by the rejection mail from the company she had applied for. Then her parents had informed her that they would delay their return from their village. Naina had gone out to the music festival in the evening to raise her spirit, which, instead, got dampened when she was shoved aside to make way for a singer swaggering to the stage.
I was standing in the singer's way. The employees had no time to pause and ask me to move. They were just doing their job. The push was probably unintentional.
Naina thought so to console herself, but it didn't work. To top the unsavory day with a cherry, the neighborhood boys had splattered blood on her face as a prank on her way back home. They had said that it wasn't meant for her while giggling and jeering. She had just come in the way. What a load crap of luck. The crappy luck wasn't yet over with its gimmicks.
Even if she was a bloodsucker, she looks like a beginner. That means she feels fear and pain. No, I won't be a part of this.
Vani said and trotted away.
I can do it myself,
Hriday said to himself, growing his nails an inch in a second. The nails he grew this time protruded out of fury. Hence, they were sharp, they were pointy, and they were deadly. He advanced towards the door to Naina's house.
Where is the locker?
Naina heard a gravelly voice ask. A shriek of terror escaped her mouth when she saw a burglar brandishing a knife at her. She cowered back towards the wall. The man wore a mask like any thief would.
Where is the locker? Do we even have a locker?
Naina wondered. She couldn't remember ever seeing a locker in the house. Her memory was all shrouded in wreaths of haze. She felt tremors and frozen limbs simultaneously.
Tell me where the locker is, or I shall kill you.
The burglar growled. Hriday followed the burglar's coarse voice and landed in the room shortly. He saw the burglar threatening Naina. Naina was perspiring. Fear was etched all over her face. Maybe, it was the helplessness she exuded at the moment that sprouted a bud of sympathy for her in Hriday's heart. All he could think about was saving her somehow. His instinct instigated him to protect her. Before he could realize, he had drawn a long scratch along the burglar's back. The burglar groaned in pain. He went numb out of shock for a moment and then turned back. He tried swinging the knife at Hriday. But the wound inflicted on him had paralyzed his hands to some extent. He fled the scene at once, while his legs were still usable. Hriday chased the burglar down to the living room and then stopped at the threshold of the house as a realization struck him. Hriday was not there to save Naina, rather he was there to wipe at least one bloodsucker off from the face of the earth. A few days ago, one of those bloody monsters had killed one of Hridaya's closest friends. The murder scene had been so brutal and gory that Hriday hadn't been able to express his grief for the whole day. The scene of the mutilated body had choked his senses. Earlier, when he used to hear stories of those monsters, called Nisrak, he would feel disgusted. Now he felt anger. Anger swirled into tornadoes of wrath. Hriday closed the door, took a long breath of determination and turned back for his initial mission. Naina stood right in front of him. She looked at Hriday. She didn't care at all that he was a stranger. In her eyes, he was the most trustworthy person at that moment. She didn't think much. She just hugged him in gratitude. His chest felt warm and safe. His breath whispered assurance. The stress of the day started ebbing away slowly as she closed her eyes in that embrace. Hriday stood still. His eyes closed.